This is Garum, and of course I am ignoring reality. Welcome to Game News Bites. Only good information, all duds removed. Xcom 2 Resurrection Summation Part 23. So where did we leave off last time? Well, Amar and Lena are in New Singapore, and she might just be a traitor. Alright, here we go. It was the sitting idol that was most difficult for Amar. Lily had trained Lena how to spot this particular augmented processor, the one that they needed for the Avengers computer. So it made perfect sense she was the one tasked to work in the factory. Amar went and sat in a coffee shop nearby the apartments. On his way there, he saw a group of children playing Advent Peacekeepers versus the bad guys. The children were arguing, and it was apparent none of them wanted to be the rebels. Most of them were wearing Advent t-shirts. Over the course of the day, he couldn't stop thinking about that. That night, Amar and Lena had made their way to the factory. It operated 24 hours, but most of the public cleared out at night, and it was pretty well just automated at that point. With Lena's pass and the glitches in the security that they'd learned about, it wasn't difficult to get into the place. Nothing manufactured there had any direct military use. In fact, most everything went into building entertainment systems and autopilots for cars, trains, and transports. So, Amar asked, do you think we're just going to be able to walk in, take it, and walk out? Walk in? Yes. Take it? Absolutely. Though, walking out might be a bit of a problem. The security here is low, but not that non-existent. The human staff present was negligible. Only a few of them looked up as Lena passed through with Amar. What's through there? He asked. A hangar, she said, and a junction with a rail line. Most things here get loaded onto the rail, some are flown out, and a few others go by truck. Luckily, I have my handy inventory stick, so locating the processor shouldn't be an issue, she said, taking out a slim rod. They moved through the warehouse, Lena guiding and waving her stick around, giddy with excitement. Right, it's over there, she said. The cylindrical container wasn't quite a half a meter in length, and half that in diameter. Plopping herself onto the ground next to it, she waved her stick again over it, looked at Amar, and nodded. So, when exactly do the alarms go off? Amar asked with half a smile. If this leaves by any means other than through those loading bay doors, then we get the alarms. If this goes out the loading bay doors, but goes anywhere other than its appointed destination, then we get the alarms. So, can we open those doors? He asked. I do not have those codes, or even a way to access the controls, she said. So I guess the plan is we take it and run through the front door, he said, stuffing the processor in his backpack. Wow, I was really kind of hoping for something more from the brilliant chief. Is that really the best plan you can come up with? He looked at her, smiled, and shrugged. Just as predicted, the alarm started going off as soon as they exited the dock. Amar had thought that perhaps it would be better if they were to walk casually as to not draw extra attention, but quickly decided to run like hell. Lena hadn't reported any jabbers in the building in the 4 days she had worked there, which meant they were probably amassing out front of the building. The longer it took them to get through the front door, the greater the odds they would encounter them in force. When they reached the front, it was locked, naturally. The entire building was being sealed. Odds were there were already Advent closing in on the building, so they really didn't have long. Now! Amar heard Lena say. She took him by the arm and pulled him away from the door. He was surprised, but he didn't realize that she had a radio, and he did not. Suddenly, one of the workers appeared out of nowhere and dashed towards the exit. Hey, no! Amar shouted, but the young man was running in a panic and paid no mind to him. Amar jumped up and tackled the guy just below the waist, rolling him to the side, just before the door exploded, along with a significant portion of the wall. The blast knocked him back 4 meters against a concrete slab, knocking the breath out of him. Amar looked at the young man. "Are you okay?" he gasped. The young man nodded with tears in his eyes. "Run the other way," Amar said. "Farther into the building and tell everyone you see to do the same." Amar glanced past the rubble and saw something from his nightmare. A nightmare inspired from the folktales he heard growing up. He only caught a glimpse of it, but it looked like a cobra, the size of a man. Amar grabbed Lena and sprinted into the street. Advent on one side and soldiers on the other. All he could do was trust his men. Directly ahead, 20 meters, he saw the Sky Ranger. He could hear an intense firefight behind him. Pushing Lena into the craft, he began climbing in as well. He could see his team running up behind him. The ship began to lift off. Dux had an arm on the ship, but something was wrapped around his ankle. Amar and the others grabbed a hold of him, trying desperately to pull him in. Dux's eyes were wide with terror and disbelief. Then it happened. It pulled him away so hard that all of Amar's strength and determination amounted to nothing. An infant could have done just as well. With Dux gone, the Sky Ranger lifted free. "Wait!" Nishimura shouted at Lily. "Stop! Go back! We can't leave him!" she screamed. Lily's head spun around, looking at Amar. "Close it," he told Lily. "Get us out of here." Alright guys, that's going to do it for this part. If you want to go ahead and jump to part 24, go ahead and click right there, and I'll take you to it. Thanks for watching, guys.